Okay, so let's talk, Dr. Mary Jo Cravatta. Let's talk about how as people go through a detox, like the desire to be a more spiritual being, like the desire to tap more into that aspect of themselves, that grows, and then just like the pure access into more like to feeling the subtle body and to feeling like, oh my gosh, I am spirit in matter, that experience becomes tangible, it becomes accessible. And often what I find in myself, but also in the members of the Yogi Detox, is that like it just really awakens the desire to like, okay, I need to spend more time in the more subtle realms. Like less time being too busy, running around, even maybe less time like working out as hard and more time like opening up the subtle channels and then just like sitting and being in the field of beingness. Do you want to talk about what's happening there as people start to clear both physical and emotional ama and just this path of desire, spiritual desire even?
So, first of all, let's look at what is ama. What is the definition of ama? So we think of ama that it means toxins, impurities, but I like to think of it as that which we don't need, that which doesn't serve us. So if we think of it inside of the body, that we have ama that comes in many, many different forms. That it could be, obviously, people can see the ama on their tongue, and that's one of the reasons that yogis will scrape their tongue. And the tongue represents the whole body, so scraping the tongue actually stimulates the whole body to let go of more ama. And but we have ama that can be everywhere. Ama likes to go to our weak areas. So it depends on what imbalances someone might have. They might have a lower abdominal imbalance, or they might have particular joint imbalances. Ama and vata makes arthritis, osteoarthritis. Vata, ama, and pitta makes more like the inflamed arthritis, more rheumatoid arthritis, and those types of things that may be non-rheumatoid, but still inflammatory. But that is that ama, that physical ama that gets into the joints, but it can be in every single cell in the body. And what it does, it clogs the shrotas. Shrota? So shrota, Srota. You may say shrota? What in the world is a shrota? A shrota is a channel. So we can have physical channels and we can have more subtle channels. And the physical channel, so a really big physical shrota is going to be your whole digestive tract, starting at your mouth and ending at your anus and everything in between. That's a big shrota. And sometimes maybe the transit time is less because of what you've eaten or because of the state of your digestive system. Maybe there might be a bit of mucus in there. There can be a bit of ama in there. Maybe feces is not able to come out completely. That can block a shrota. But you can have shrotas are also arteries. So another reason to cleanse is going to be getting the ama and whatever doshas that might be stuck inside of the arteries. And so that might obviously look like plaque or other things like that. So we know that if there's too much plaque around certain arteries, particularly the coronary arteries for the heart, now the heart won't be able to function very well, right? So we have that type of ama that's stuck in a medium-sized shrota. You can have very, very small physical shrotas, such as pores and cells. Mm-hmm. And so we can also have ama that's affecting the flow in and out of nutrients and substances inside of a cell. And so what happens is that when we physically cleanse, we are cleansing the shrotas. We're cleansing these pathways. And I like to think of them as pathways of intelligence, because what is flowing in the bloodstream? It's little nutrients, it's little enzymes, it's hormones. These are little packets of information and intelligence. They have a job, they have their purpose, and that they're going in and they're going to go to a cell, they're going to go to a target tissue, and they want to do their job.
Yeah.
But they are blocked if it's clogged with ama. Clogged with ama. So now everything isn't flowing well. When everything isn't flowing well in the physical body, So we have 5 layers of our etheric body, and the physical body is just one of those layers. Physical body, Annamaya Kosha, the food body, the physical body. But everything that happens in the physical body also affects the other 4 layers that's in the etheric body, and vice versa. Things that happen in the etheric body will also affect the physical body. And so when we cleanse the physical body, we're also working on the subtle body. So for example, our energy is just flowing better. Our energy body, which is the next one, is everything is going to flow better. Our energy is going to feel better. Marma points, meridians, nadis, chakras, they are in the energy body. You physically cleanse your body, you are affecting those subtle things, those energy aspects of the body.
Yeah.
3rd layer is the emotional body. You start cleansing and things are going to start releasing. Especially you do oleation and purgation, you snehana, vrechana. What's going to happen is that, what's the whole purpose of oleation? The whole purpose of oleation is to remove ama, and what's with the ama is going to be the doshic imbalances. And then you purge. And what happens is you're eliminating that. And that is also then going to affect the emotional body. And this is why things will come up. When we cleanse, it's not just physically. You may think you're doing a physical cleanse, but it's also going to affect you in your subtle body and in that emotional body, in that 3rd layer. And that this is why maybe old feelings will come up. Dreams. Maybe you have things come up in dreams. Maybe you think of something that you haven't thought of in decades. And it's because of you're moving that ama. You're moving that ama. And hopefully you're eating an easy to digest diet, which is going to facilitate the removal of ama. And then we have the intellectual body, which is the 4th layer. That's our concepts and beliefs. It's our attachments. That's our shoulds. And so maybe you might start questioning some of your belief systems.
Yep.
Looking at some things that you thought you held to be true, and maybe now they're not true. And then we have the consciousness body. And the consciousness body has to do with our spiritual growth and our evolution and expansion of awareness. Or we can tract in on ourselves. And so as we cleanse, we can expand that consciousness body. And this is why it's so important. This is why cleansing has been part of yoga for centuries. Thousands of years. Cleansing has been part of yoga because of the effect of cleansing the physical body has on the layers of the etheric body.
It's so big. And I mean, one of the things that I see a lot in really trying to name is that identity expansion that happens. So people may come in and not consider themselves this kind of person or that kind of person, and then they cleanse and things come up and they're like, oh, actually, like, this is who I am now. And it's not who I was. And sometimes it's surprising. And sometimes it causes other people in their life to like really need to kind of readjust to who this person is now. Right? So if someone wasn't a meditator and now they're a meditator, like that shifts the household a bit. Right? If someone was eating junk food or having wine at night and now isn't wanting that, right? That changes the household. And so that there's an identity evolution, and I love how you name that in the intuitive body, in the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And then that's really just in many ways, it's a step down for what's happening in the etheric body. It's a step down to like, this is how it's showing up in reality. This is how this expanded etheric body is showing up in my day-to-day reality. Is like, this is who I am now. And what I find personally, and also familially, because we kind of cleanse as a family. And my daughter, she's 8, so she doesn't really do much. Well, she does a little bit with the food stuff, but it's more of like the household rhythm is just we're in a different cycle. Then, but it allows us the time to actually let go of who we were, presence who we're becoming, and presence that with each other, and then have support around that moving forward, which I feel like is very involved, to do this because what was happening in the past is it would just happen, but we weren't naming it. We weren't naming that, like, hey, like, I know I know we know who I was, and this is who I feel like I'm becoming now, right? And this is what I'm wanting now. This is what my desires are now. This is who I'm wanting to become or am becoming. And just FYI, just so it's named, just so it's out there, so we're not constantly retracting in who we were before the yogi detox or before the cleanse or being pulled back.
Because the people who, so often it can be difficult to allow others to change. We want them to stay in their patterns. I know this is who you are. Now, who are you? What is happening to you? And so we need to be aware that that may happen so we don't allow others to pull us back into our patterns.
Yes.
Like that glass of wine at night. Oh, I so miss it. You used to sit down with me.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's like so it's very important that we know that could come up, and we want to know, why are we doing what we're doing? And this is where the whole intellectual understanding comes from, where we need experience and we need intellectual understanding. We need them both. The cleanse will give you a lot of both, but particularly it's going to really affect, right? It's going to affect experientially what's going on with you. But you need to keep on reminding yourself of the intellectual knowledge, and that you want to increase the flow of sattva inside of you. You want to increase the flow of consciousness inside of you, and that once it starts rolling, it's a little difficult to stop it, because consciousness wants to expand.
Yeah. So in closing this little segment, like, let's talk about how one of the ways that I experience having a scheduled cleanse, and for us, we do the yoga detox twice a year. Other people might cleanse once a year. So whatever someone's rhythm is, but having it scheduled, just like Christmas runs on a schedule, Easter runs on a schedule, Halloween runs on a schedule, like your cleanse needs to run on a schedule. So what I've noticed now, because I've been doing this in October and in April for so many years, is that, like, come September, like, I'm getting excited. You're like, and it's not me intellectually getting excited, but like physically my body's like, oh yeah, it's coming.
It is so true, because actually I just started cleansing on Sunday, and it's a very scheduled thing that I have, right, every September, and it's like, oh yeah, the couple of weeks before I started, it was like, I can hardly wait, because I know that even though I basically eat a cleansed diet all the time,
yeah.
But what happens is I'm going to give myself a little bit more time. I'm going to be doing a little bit more restorative yoga. I'm going to be just having more reflective time, and plus I'm doing a lot of cleansing herbs, and my body wants it. My body craves it, and my mind craves it. My soul craves it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Kate, it's so true. It's like we want it to be regular, because then our body can rely on that. Our mind can rely on that.
Yeah, it's huge. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Mary Jo Cravatta of Shakti Veda.
Mm.